part of his knee just broke off right there. And then, oh man, that was a little bit more aggressive than I thought it was going to be. Might be easy when you just die. Woo! Wow, I'm Chewy Mew. Welcome back to Venom Month, day number, I want to say 22. I could be wrong. I've been wrong a couple times in this, so I end up having to cut it out because I'm wrong. And welcome to a bit of an annoyed Chewy Mew review, because there's this figure that I've reviewed like 4 or 5 times. The first like 2 times, I didn't like the way it came out. I thought, oh man, I could probably say better stuff. And then the next time, I was like, I'm gonna delete this. It wasn't very good. And then eventually one time I got interrupted by some certain events, so that I wasn't able to finish it. And this is like number 5 or 6. So I'm not really in the mood to review this figure, but I want to review it at the same time. It's like I don't want to do it, but at the same time I do. And that is the Spider-Man Classics Series 1 Venom. So he's just called Venom. He's not called Venom something something, or he's just called Venom. I don't really know how ToyBiz managed to stuff him in here. I guess they probably like rotated the joints and stuff or whatever to have him cram in there. Maybe the box was bigger. I don't know. Because yeah, it doesn't look like he'd really fit into this box. And he came with a display stand that had like a vault guardsman on it. He's like supposed to be breaking out, and he's like in the midst of transformation. I just got a text. Let's clear that. I don't have his packaging. This is for Black Suit Spider-Man, or Black Costume Spider-Man. You can see how this Venom here has like blue, looks like blue shell shading, or blue cell shading. Why can't I speak anymore? I'm tired, guys. You can see here, like on his arm, a little bit of the leg, you can see it has a bunch of blue detail. It looks like cell shading, kind of like how Venom does here on the comic book panel, or on the comic book cover. You can see Venom in real life does not have any of that sort of cell shading on his arm here, which is kind of weird. But one thing ToyBiz said here, so it's okay, they're not lying to you, is we constantly improve and update our products. Sometimes as a result of these improvements, what is seen on the package may differ somewhat in color and content from the product inside. I do Black Suit Spider-Man. I don't know where Red Suit Spider-Man is right now. Having like multiple shelves, sometimes I don't know where figures are. Probably should get them prepared before the review, but I'm too lazy for that. But here's Black Suit Spider-Man, and this is part of his knee just broke off right there. Broke off. You couldn't see it, but that's unfortunate. Let's move on with the review. That sucks. Oh man, that's bad. See, I told you reviewing this figure was not very good. Yeah, my only issue with this figure, which is kind of a weird issue, I mean, it is still an issue I have, is that I think he's a little too big, because this is what human Peter Parker looks like. This is what human Eddie Brock with the symbiote looks like. Like, his leg is up to Spider-Man's chest, you can see right there. Rhino's knees are not straight, but, Venom should not be as big as a Rhino. Like, even Eddie Brock's face is similar to Rhino's. That is a Man-Spider from the same wave. I don't know if Man-Spider is in scale. I don't know if Man-Spider is supposed to be either this small or this big. Enormous. And either he's out of scale, and I feel like either he's too small or he's too big. Either way, he looks great. He looks phenomenal. Both of these are definitely great. Minimal articulation, borderline like posable statue kind of characters. But I feel like Venom should not be as big as him, He's bigger than Rhino. He's almost as bulky as Rhino. He's as big as Man-Spider. So that's my only issue. He feels a bit too tall. He feels more like, I feel like he would go perfectly with Diamond Select, because he feels like he's about that, what is that, like 16, 17 centimeters? And he is, you can't see it, he's like over 7.5 inches. Let me move this up here to the top of his hunched over head. He's like about, 7.5 inches, or about 19 centimeters. Right from the front, it looks really cool. It has like an alligator kind of design to his head. It looks really cool. The eyes kind of curling backwards, the snout coming down to the teeth. I love all the wrinkles that, maybe if I turn on the flash, you can notice it more. I love all the wrinkles they put on the head there. It's kind of a glossy color, which sometimes glossy colors look kind of plasticky. This one, the glossiness, to me, it looks good here. It works, It's one of those things where some figures, the glossiness works. Look from the side, you can see the teeth are mostly all the teeth are sculpted as a one whole piece. These teeth are all kind of jumbled together, which it looks cool. They have like this white color with you can see some redness, I guess, from the gums, or maybe, I'm assuming it's not blood. I'm assuming it's just the gums. And he's like white teeth, a bunch of yellow gunk in between, because I guess Venom doesn't brush his teeth. You have some green slime going down, which that looks really cool as well. Or not slime, drool. I mean, I guess it's kind of slime. Drool coming down, which is really cool as well. You can see Eddie Brock's face in there, and he looks very much insane, you know. He definitely doesn't look like he's completely there, you know what I mean? The face, so the way they sculpted this, the skull part here and his face are all one piece. And then the snout here for the symbiote that's coming over his face is a separate piece. You can see, if you look right here on the plastic, you can see that little outline is actually where they fuse the figure's pieces together. So Venom, his head, the back of his head, I know the snout and the back of the head are two separate pieces. I don't know if the head is sculpted onto this or if it's a separate piece as well. But it is possible. Technically, if you wanted to, you could remove this part. You might damage it, but you could remove it if you want to just have like a Eddie Brock head without the symbiote covering him. But this looks, I think it looks really cool. The sculpting on the tongue, it has like a bunch of bumps on it as well. Unfortunately, because how old this is, there are some paint chipping here and there, or there's some paint chipping here on the feet and stuff, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's not as severe as like my first ever Spider-Man figure where the paint is pretty much gone. It looks really cool though. It looks really good. You know, this is one of those cases where some people have said, oh man, I would kind of want to get it, but his posability is kind of bad. I mean, to me, his articulation isn't bad. It's just incredibly limited. He has like, what, maybe 8 points? Like what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? Really? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, or 12, 14. No, he has 14. I forgot that he had elbow joints. But yeah, he has only 14 points of articulation compared to the Series 1 Spider-Man that had 30. So we did have double the amount of articulation as him, but the posability it gets the job done. He did come with a web accessory that plugs into his hand that you can shoot a web with. On the box here, let me get the box. He has that web accessory on his hand. It probably didn't have that black outline on it because it was, you know, it wasn't, because these look kind of more, it looks more cartoonish instead of like, it doesn't look quite like a real figure. It looks kind of more like a prototype image, you know. I still think it looks pretty cool. As far as that goes, like I said, being a pre-post statue, having low articulation is not really an issue for me. To me, it's just that's kind of how it is. Like ToyBiz was prioritizing getting out a bunch of cool-looking figures, like the Rhino I showed. The Rhino also has, I think, the same amount of articulation, maybe less. 2, 4, or no, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He only has 13 points. I don't, because Venom has like 3 points in the arm. He only has 2 points in the arm. So, these both being pre-posed statues, you got to admit, these both look really cool. Man Spider also looks really good. They are pre-posed for the most part. Like I said, less than 20 points of articulation. But that was kind of the goal. Their priority was, we're going to make a bunch of, we're going to work on making a pre-posed or superposable Spider-Man bodies. So then, by the time they get to 2003, you have masterpieces like Sneak Attack Spider-Man or Urban Legend Spider-Man, same figure, just different colors. And then by 2004, we got stuff like Sinister Six Venom, which has a ton of articulation. He has more posability than the Series 1 Spider-Man figures. Then we got stuff like Onslaught Green Goblin, we got Hobgoblin, Vulture, we got a ton of superposable figures, and ToyBiz was just buying time working on those and releasing figures with low posability. So to me, we had to sacrifice low articulation on this guy in order to get... They're basically buying time, you know. I like how almost all ToyBiz Venoms have a different design. Like you can see this one here has a much wider design that goes all the way to his sides over here. Let's see on the back as well, the Spider logo looks different. It's kind of chubbier here on the body. Like 2 different designs for that, and then also my first ever Venom figure. Put the camera over there. You can see the design on his chest are also different. He has much skinnier legs on the chest with a bunch of gaps in between, whereas this one is, the spider legs are all stuck together, or they're all gripped together with tiny lines here. Unfortunately, the paint is kind of wearing off here and there from being played with. On the back, yeah, you can see it's kind of faded here, because I guess when you hold the figure and move the arms, your fingers rub on the back. So the paint is kind of rubbing. For some of these old ToyBiz figures that the paint is kind of starting to decay, I was thinking of adding a sealer to it to keep the paint preserved and keep it from coming off. Not skin parts, the symbiote parts. You can see it has like these lines in it. You can see the lines going across the body, here on the butt, on the leg, on the boot here as well. You can see on this leg, they did not add the same design because it's skin. It's a lot smoother, whereas the symbiote has these lines too. You can see here on the chest as well, like on the muscles, you can see the lines there. On the crotch, you can see it there because it's super glossy. There's no paint to distract it. The line's going across. They did sculpt his belly button. That's really cool as well. I think it just looks really good, you know. He does have the pinned shoulders and the pinned legs, which I don't care. You know, if a figure has pins, it's not a big deal to me unless it's like, oh man, there's like a Spider-Man figure and then the inside of his elbows, the pins are like red when they should be, you know, blue like the rest of the body. Like this one here. They did paint these joints, but the paint just rubbed off eventually. Or, you know, like Urban Legend Spider-Man, where on him as well, they did paint. They painted the joints. The paint is kind of rubbing off, like I said, from age. So stuff like that, when the paint rubs off, that's okay. But when you just have like bright pins that are the wrong color, then it's kind of an issue. This case, him having pin joints is not an issue. It kind of just shows that ToyBiz had not figured out how to do this size body without pins. Which, you know, I don't care. Pin joints are cool. Pinless joints are also cool. It's not really a big deal to me. What is a big deal, and what's a pretty big thing, is his claw. His claw is enormous. Is he able to hold a Spider-Man figure? He should be able to, right? I mean, yeah, he can. Yeah, he can hold Spider-Man in his hand. His legs are a little bit on the loose side, but yeah, he can hold Spider-Man. Can hold him really good. This hand hooks here. Like I'm pretty sure they designed this finger or his thumb here to be able to hook around Spider-Man to hold him, and then, you know, oh man, that was a little bit more aggressive than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, he can throw Spider-Man. It's like, they could have made it an action feature, like grab Spider-Man and flick it, but I guess they wouldn't want to, I don't think they'd want to put a gimmick like that, because you could probably break your toy, like if it hits metal or something. You can see his human skin covered. Like I said, he does have this sort of skin line texture along the legs here. The hand here, or his human leg, has more of a human kind of musculature to it. It's hard to see there. Turn the flash off, maybe. Yeah, I can see it there. As a different texture to it, which looks really cool. I really like that. Same thing here on the arms. The arms and legs have the same texture as each other. The skin parts do, and then the symbiote parts have the same texture throughout the whole body, which is really cool. On the bottom of the foot here, this one doesn't say anything, but it does have peg holes, which works for display bases, for ToyBiz bases. And the other foot here says, 2001 Marvel Entertainment, made in China. It's kind of weird how some of these earlier figures said Marvel Entertainment, whereas later ones, like Venom here. Does he even say it anywhere? Oh yeah, he does. Says it right here. Where Venom says, hard to see, but it does say ToyBiz Worldwide. So it's weird how it used to say Marvel Entertainment, but eventually after a while they started putting ToyBiz Worldwide. It's kind of weird, but either way, I think this does look really cool. It looks really good. Like I said, my only issue with this is that he feels a little bit too big, you know, like if they shrunk him down, like I said, by maybe like 2 centimeters-ish, make him, because even compared to a fully transformed Venom, he is a bit big. Like, he's the size of fully transformed Venom, which I don't feel like should be the case. I feel like he should be a little smaller than Sinister Six Venom, you know, like around, or maybe the same size as Sinister Six Venom. But either way, as far as the posability goes, the head can't really look up or down. I mean, it kind of can look down. I mean, it can look down. It can't really look up. Yeah, it can't really look up. You do have rotation side to side. It does kind of pivot. I don't think that's on purpose, though, but it does rotate all the way around. The arms go all the way around as well. They go up just about 90 degrees. You can rotate where the elbow starts. No elbow joint, which to me it's not a big deal. If you get I'd rather have an elbow joint than a rotation, but that's cool that they did. Rotation here in the wrist. Rotation here in the waist that goes all the way around. You can actually do slightly past the splits. The legs kick up all the way up. They all go all the way back as well. You can rotate the legs if you move the body. You can rotate the legs all the way around, which that's really cool. Single bend in the knee, and then you get a hinge in the foot. But either way, that's all for this figure. I think it looks really cool. But yeah, that's all for this video. I will see you guys in the next review. Wow.